Hey guys, tonight we're going on a little trip, a cold case, the coldest of the cold, in fact. Forget your true crime podcasts for a minute. We're not talking about a missing person from suburbia. We're talking about a 1,400-year-old murder mystery where the victim is one of the most influential men in history. The suspects are the people closest to him, and the key witness might just be God himself. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those nights. So, before we dive into the deep end, do me a favor and hit that like button if you enjoy history that bites back. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious. Now, dim the lights, put your phone on silent. You're not gonna want any distractions for this one. All right, let's set the scene. The year is 632 AD. The place, Medina. The prophet of Islam, Muhammad, is dead. The official cause, a lingering illness. But even within the earliest Islamic accounts, there's a darker story. A story of poison. A story of murder. But who did it? For centuries, two competing narratives have been passed down, whispered in mosques and debated in hushed tones. This isn't just a historical footnote, it's the 7th century equivalent of a Netflix docuseries, complete with warring families, political intrigue, and a divine prophecy that hangs over the entire investigation like a guillotine. So tonight, you're the detective. We're gonna sift through the ancient evidence, examine the suspects, and confront a question so explosive it could shake the very foundations of a world religion. Let's get into it. Our first stop is the fortress of Khaybar, a Jewish oasis conquered by Muhammad and his followers a few years before his death. Imagine the scene. The dust has barely settled from the battle. The air smells of sweat, sand, and blood. You're a victorious soldier invited to a celebratory feast. On the menu, roasted lamb. According to the most trusted collection of Sunni traditions, Sahih Hadith, a Jewish woman named Zaynab bint al-Harith serves this meal to Muhammad. Her husband, father, and brother were all killed in the fighting. She has every reason to want revenge. And she gets it. The lamb is laced with a potent poison. Muhammad takes a bite. So does his companion, Bishr ibn al-Bara. The Hadith tells us that Bishr dies almost immediately, but Muhammad, after tasting it, spits it out. He survives for a while. The prophet himself, years later, while on his deathbed, would tell his favorite wife, Aisha, about the lingering agony of that meal. In Sahih al-Bukhari, number 4428, he says, "O Aisha, I still feel the pain caused by the food I ate at Khaybar, and at this time I feel as if my aorta is being cut from that poison." His aorta, the main artery of the heart. Remember that detail. Write it down, underline it, put a big red circle around it. Because that single, excruciating detail turns this entire case upside down. You see, Muhammad didn't just claim to be a prophet. He gave his followers a divine test, a way to know for certain if he was truly speaking for God, a fail-safe. And that fail-safe is written in the pages of the Qur'an itself. Now, let's look at the evidence that nobody seems to talk about. This is the part that complicates everything. In Surah 69, a chapter from the Meccan period, the Quran lays out the ultimate penalty for a false prophet. It says, "And if he had fabricated against us some of the sayings, we would certainly have seized him by the right hand. Then we would certainly have cut off his aorta." Let that sink in. The one and only method of execution Allah prescribes in the Quran for a false prophet is to, and I'm going to reinforce this, to sever his aorta. And what did Muhammad say he felt as he lay dying from that poison from Khaybar? "I feel as if my aorta is being cut." Did the Prophet of Islam die in the exact manner that his own holy book predicted a false prophet would die? Has this cold case just been cracked by the victim's own testimony? But hold on, don't close the case file just yet, because there's another story, another set of suspects from within the four walls of the Prophet's own home. Now for this, we need to switch sources. We're moving from the Sunni historical record to the Shia tradition, where the story takes a sharp and shocking turn. According to major Shia sources like the tafsīr of al-Ayashi, the Jewish woman at Khaybar is a distraction, a cover story. The real culprits, they claim, were Muhammad's own wives, Aisha and Hafsa. This is a bombshell accusation. It reframes the entire history of early Islam not as a story of divine succession, but as a treacherous power grab, a 7th century Game of Thrones. So what's the evidence? Shia scholars point to verses in the Qur'an itself, specifically in Surah 66, which they interpret as Allah confronting Aisha and Hafsa for conspiring against Muhammad. They combine this with their own hadith traditions that describe the two wives giving the Prophet a strange medicine against his will during his final illness. So what have we got? Two stories, two sets of suspects, two completely different motives. In one corner, the grief-stricken Jewish woman seeking revenge. In the other corner, two of the Prophet's wives committing the ultimate betrayal for political gain. And in the middle of it all, we have the Prophet's own chilling last words, echoing a terrifying prophecy from his own scripture. This forces a difficult choice. Either the hadith accounts are wrong and we can't trust Islam's most sacred texts, or the hadith accounts are right and Muhammad died in the exact way the Quran said a false prophet would die. Yeah, there's really no comfortable third option. It's a paradox, baked into the very heart of the Islamic source material. The death of Prophet Muhammad wasn't just the end of a life, it was the explosive beginning of a schism that has lasted for centuries, a cold case where the ripples are still felt today. What do you think? Who was the real killer? A vengeful woman? Power-hungry wives? Or was it the fulfillment of a divine prophecy hidden in plain sight? Let me know your theories in the comments below. This is a conversation worth having, and there are no easy answers. And if you made it this far, you're a true detective. Don't forget to subscribe for more historical deep dives that challenge what you think you know. Until next time, stay curious. As always, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free.